Here's Eye on the Candy, who we call Candy, and he is a 16 two-hand, 6-year-old thoroughbred gelding out of a Tappet line. And Candy's been here for a few weeks, probably actually over a month now, I think. And so I've sort of been splitting my time on him with Alyssa. So I think we're both riding him about 50-50. And he's coming along very nicely. I wanted to make a quick flat video today, partially quick because it is so hot today in Maryland. We're in the 90s with what feels like 100% humidity. And so all the riding needed to get done this morning and nobody needed to be out there for very long. But I just wanted to show where he is on the flat because I think the last few videos I've made of him, we were focusing on getting jumping out in the field, which was great, and he did all those things, but he's really been spending more time working on the flat than anything else. So I thought we'd just make a little updated video because he really, I think, is making huge progress, and he feels so much stronger and straighter and more through and all the things. He really feels like he's learning the language. So we just warmed up with a lot of changing of directions to keep switching the bend back and forth. Oh, excuse me, sorry. His canter transitions are something that we've spent a lot of time working on. You want to work on it persistently so that they make progress, but you also don't want to pick at it to the point where they're feeling anxious about it. But it's gotten so much better. And I think I'm about to ask for a canter here in just a second. So to the left, he's doing quite a nice canter transition where he's learned that he can just step into it. He's staying very round through the transition. I'm very happy with that. To the right, he's also learning the same things, but we are doing it over poles. So he's learning to step into the right canter and stay round and all those same things, except we're just doing it in a step over poles to help him understand that sort of the aids in that motion a little bit better. The left is definitely his little bit easier direction. Oh, so right there, we just sort of lost the canter for a second because we had gone by the gate. So, you just lose a little bit of forward momentum sometimes as you go as you're going away from the gate. So just a little quick discussion there to step back into the canter. And then I did the circle down there because I wanted to repeat going by the gate. And there you go. That was much better. So anyway, the left is definitely his little bit easier direction right now, especially with the canter transitions. I think his canter work is looking very nice. He has a fantastic canter, always just super uphill, light in the mouth, very balanced, just a really great feel. If you're somebody who, wants to jump things or just wants a sporty athletic type of horse without being, like a hot horse. He's not hot at all. You really have to put your leg on. If you spend a couple of seconds watching my lower leg, you'll see that I'm very much using my leg, but just a really sort of athletic feel. All right, so that's how we're getting our right lead canter transition, which is just using the poles as a step into the canter so that we can sort of take, for whatever reason, he just has a little bit of anxiety about the canter transitions. When he first came, it was about both leads, canter transitions. Now we've gotten the left down pretty down pat, and he's really good at that. We just are clearing up a little bit of anxiety still now just on the right canter transition, and I just find that the pole helps to take some of that away. So anyway, I was very happy with that canter transition. I like that he stayed pretty soft and round into it. He did it in one clear step. That was great. Excuse me if you hear my phone. Billy is calling me and texting me. So I'm really happy with this canter work that he's doing here to the right. He's funny because once he's in the right canter, they're very equal, the left and the right canter. It's not like the right canter is harder to ride than the left. It's just the canter transition, and that's just going to take the time that it's going to take for him to fully get that down pat. But absolutely no doubt that it will come. And I liked that down transition. He stayed pretty round. And then such a nice trot after we have a canter. Lovely there. What a good boy. He's really getting it. So right here, coming down this long side, on this far long side, for whatever reason, that is the spot where I find the right flexion a little bit hard for him. He almost, it's not really even about his neck at all. It's really feels like from the tack, like he's just sort of tightening up in his rib cage a little bit, like you can't quite get your a soft feeling with your inside leg, which is why he stepped into the canter there, was because I was putting on my inside leg and then he sort of just tightened up in his rib cage and he picked up the left canter. So what I did here to finish the ride was to try and work on that without, I don't want to get into an argument with him. I don't want to add anxiety. I want to make this feel natural for him to sort of let go in his rib cage and bend through his whole body. So here I just started doing a little bit of introduction to lateral work, just very, in a smooth, not demanding way, asking him to start figuring out this concept of keeping the right bend and moving off of my leg. So we were doing not even, I wouldn't even say we were on the quarter line, but we're turning early and then we're just starting to have this idea of moving off the right leg, which he actually did really well with. And then as I was hoping that completely fixed any tension I was feeling in the flexion or the rib cage going to the right. And he did that long side really nicely a few times. And then I thought this here was like really nice. He felt just like fantastic. This here felt quite lovely. So I turned early and that was really quite good.